Faith invites and encourages all who are seeking a community to empower, support, and explore deeper understanding of spirituality and recovery of all kinds. We join together with our family and loved ones in our journey to enlightenment and recovery, and supporting one another spiritually without judgment or prejudice.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And all around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, hide it under a bushel, no, said I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Welcome to A Place of Faith. My name is Beci R, and today I'm going to talk to you about the spiritual principle of self-knowledge. Let's begin with prayer. Father, Mother, God, we thank you for this time together. We thank you for these words and for each person listening, and for their willingness to learn and to be their best selves. We thank you whether they're watching today, tomorrow, or 20 years from now, because we know that they are right here when they need to be. And we are so grateful to be messengers of your word. Amen. So today I want to talk to you about self-knowledge. And the definition of self-knowledge is knowledge or understanding of one's own capabilities, character, feelings, or motivations. So what is this and how does it apply to us, right, in recovery? Well, scientists say that a lot of what we learn about ourselves, about who we are, our characters, and how we behave, begins early on. in the formative years, they call them, between the ages of 3 and 6. I spent a lot of time volunteering and working with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And I found this to be very true in the basics class that we were talking about mental health issues and how mental health is changed by many factors. And I know that the typical brain matures at the age around 25 years old. So if we're learning between our 3 and 6 years old and we're maturing by 25, now there's a lot of time inside there, right? We have a lot of vacant space. And I don't know too many users that start between 3 and 5 years old. People start abusing alcohol or drugs. I do know that before we hit that 25-year-old mark, a lot of us have already been abusing alcohol or drugs. So here's the tricky set bar. It's all in those formative years of when we're growing up, what we're learning, and how we're actually changing our minds with chemicalization by using alcohol and drugs while our mind is trying to mature. So we don't really have a developing understanding of ourselves if we started using early. Myself, 13 years old. I mean, I started smoking cigarettes even before that, but I started drinking and using drugs by the time I was 13 years old. That wasn't a regular thing, but that was still 12 years before the real development completed in my brain cells, okay, before I became what they call mature enough to make those choices. So how in the heck am I going to have any idea of self-knowledge, who I am or what I want in the world, if I'm altering brain cells before they even begin to mature? Numbing changes us. Not only our physical senses, it alters our emotional landscape as well. Side note, when I'm talking about addiction, I do not personally know anyone in recovery or recovering addict that didn't suffer some kind of trauma in their childhood. Now, the statistics say, as I read the data online, it says 2/3, so 2 out of every 3 addict or alcoholic suffered some kind of traumatic events in their childhood. I've been in a lot of rooms. I've been in a lot of groups, and I believe the average is a lot higher. I'm not saying that it's not possible that somebody wakes up one day and goes, let me go start using. I'm saying it doesn't happen very often. Most of us come up through the ranks in those formative years, learning things that didn't suit us well, and then going into trying to numb because of the pain of what's going on in our lives. And through that numbing, we've altered our own neuroplasty, the neurons inside our brains. So the American Addiction Center published an article from Alcoholism, Clinical and Experiential Research, and they found that substance abuse, poor health, multiple sex partners, and financial problems were consistent among the individuals who started using drugs or alcohol early in life. So if you thought that you were special about this, we're not, right? Because we're at greater risk for all of these things. They used brain scans in the research at the University of Georgia, and it shows that drug users can be permanently stunted in their brains. The younger they start using, the more vulnerable they become. And if you have a predisposition, to alcoholism, say it runs in your family, or drug addiction runs in your family, then the chances are even greater that it'll be worse, right? So more common consequences of alcoholism in adolescence, as you know, if you've been in recovery, and if you haven't been in recovery and you've just been white-knuckling it, this may be news to you. When I first started going into, I didn't go into a recovery house. I didn't have 28 days in a clean living facility. I wasn't court ordered. I just knew that when I woke up one day, I didn't know how I got from the bar to the house, and there was a problem. So I knew it ran in my family, and I knew that there was more to this than I had ever given any credit to, and the numbing had to stop. So there, in this the more common consequences for adolescents is the high addiction rates, up to 80%. They're saying, I think it's higher than that. The inability to learn, plan, make decisions, choices, right? Higher crime rates due to inhibition against violence. I think they don't care. Whatever, I'll be violent. It's okay. What's going to hurt me anyway? So high unemployment rates go along with this. Higher rates of imprisonment and early death. These are undeniable statistics about what happens in the lives of people that start using at an early age. And this is perpetual. Our children will see us use. I used to think that even after I got sober, because I never let my children see me drink, but they did see me smoke, right? So I was an avid smoker at the house, in the car, everywhere I went, right? I smoked. I used to think, they'll never grow up going, to smoke, because they can't stand the smell of it. And they're always on me about, stop smoking, Mom, stop smoking. Well, they're both smokers. So I think that I'm not teaching them this habit, but they learned what they were shown. So how does being sober and changing our life and having self-knowledge, how do we even get to that if we've altered and numbed our own sense of understanding of who we are, right? Here's some really good news, and this has come up just recently, probably in the past 20, 30 years. Our brains are elastic. They call it neuroplasticity, okay? We actually can learn, even when they used to think before that, it was set by the time you're 25 and you never learn anything. What's that old saying? You can never an old dog can never learn a new trick. That's not necessarily so. We can learn things. And you can learn a lot about neuroplasticity on the websites. If you do some research on the internet, there's all kinds of websites. There's some great books about it, about human brains can function with neuroplasticity. They're elastic aspects of our minds that allows us to change, adapt, and reorganize things inside our mind. Now, if we've burned brain cells, we may not be able to go back and fix those. But they have found that we can wire past them with practice. That's how stroke victims start to learn to talk again. That's how people with real serious mental health issues can learn to go past them and learn coping skills and learn to navigate life by circumventing what may be a damaged part and growing the part that's still elastic. And throughout our lives, regardless of our age, our brains create neurons. And they make these fresh neuron pathways as we experience things for the first time. That's the great news about it. We can restructure and reorganize part of our brains. So unless the damage has been deemed irreversible, which I wouldn't even say, even if they said it was irreversible, I'm kind of a mind that, being a new thought person, that with the right circumstances, we can still learn to get past that. Yes, we have the power to change. And how do we do that? We have to learn for ourselves. We have to go back and recreate that maturity that we didn't get or that we numbed ourselves through. And I did numb myself through a lot of it. So this isn't me talking to you about what you've done with your life, okay? This is me saying I bear witness to this fact that I've done it and I've seen a lot of people do it. So how do we step through our sobriety and learn all the things that we numbed out early on? Well, key factor, one day at a time, right? Because I can't plan for tomorrow if I'm not working on today. I need to know what today is and how I can get through today and how I can make myself better in this day, right? Counseling, if necessary, therapy, right? There's all kinds of therapy. There's group therapy. There's one-on-one therapy. There's, online therapy now with COVID. Everything is, you can get counseling, and counseling is easier. And I want you to know that NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, does have free support groups too. There are other mental illness organizations that work with free classes. I have just seen NAMI do some phenomenal work. Being one of their facilitators and being a part of that, I've seen what a difference an education and an understanding of mental health issues and all of these neurons and all of the elasticity, neuroplasticity, all of this understanding can do to change the lives and the hopes and the dreams of the families and the people in recovery. Find a 12-step fellowship. It doesn't mean that you have to go and sit in a building for an hour twice a week. There are lots of ways for you to get 12-step fellowship. There are churches, A Place of Faith is one of them, that reach out to people and want to help people and help serve them and sponsor them and come into their organizations to talk. Sponsorship. Find yourself someone that you really touch on, you really sync up with their experience, strength, and hope, because that's the person that's going to help you fire those neurons. That's going to give you different choices. It's going to say, hey, you tried that. What do we try this for a little while? And yes, sometimes you outgrow your sponsors. It happens. It's happened to me. So, but finding someone to start with, that's a good place to start. That's living in today. That's taking today at a time. Call your numbers. You get a list every time you go to a group. Start making the calls. Make a call even if you feel like you don't need to make a call. Make a call and say, hey, I just needed to make one call today because today I told myself I'm going to be better than I was yesterday and I haven't made a call in a while. So today I'm going to make a call. And tomorrow maybe I'll make one call in the last 5 minutes. And maybe the next day it'll last 10 minutes. Every step in that direction. Okay? Those all help with sobriety and mental health. Like I said, NAMI. NAMI is a good place to start. There are other ones. Take care of your health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual well-being. They're finding more and more results are getting better and better for people that are willing to look at recovery as a holistic thing. We can't just take one piece of our life out and say, okay, well, I'm never going to drink and here it is and plonk, there it is out here. It's all a part of the system, okay? We have to keep all of our resources going. We have to do our physical health. That means moving. Get up and move. Doesn't mean you have to exercise 40, 50 minutes a day. It means get on your feet and do something. If you're in a wheelchair, do something else. Move your arms. Do chair yoga. Do whatever you can to get some circulation. We've got to get some circulation going. That helps us with our mental health as well. Read books. Find inspiring podcasts, TED Talks, everything you need, anything you need to build yourself up, to help build yourself through into the life that you want. Examine your value system, okay? Figure out what it is you truly value. Take care of your mental health. There are places out there that will help you with your mental health. There are resources. There's NAMI, there's more. Look for places that will help you do that, right? Clean up your environment. Cluttered mind, cluttered house. Make your bed every day. Pick something up. If you're too overwhelmed to do it all in one day, that's why it's one day at a time. Don't do it all in one day. Do part of it today and put down on a list. Tomorrow when I wake up, the very first thing I'm going to do is X, Y, and Z. And then get up, do X, Y, and Z, and then go on about your day. You know, if you set off little tasks, 5, 10, 15 minutes at a time, it helps us get into that routine. Try to figure out what it is that we want in our lives. What it is, if I want to clean house, I'm going to clean house. You know what I mean? That's important to me because it helps me be uncluttered with my day. I'm not thinking about this pile over here that I have to worry about later on today. Okay? And learn to laugh. That is a big one. Watch something that's funny on TV or watch a funny TED podcast or, listen to some comedian that you like. Laugh every day because laughing is important. You know, people have cured themselves by laughing. So it is possible that you can change your mental state of being with laughter. Gratitude is another one. Being grateful. Okay, and I know that's hard because sometimes, what am I grateful for? I lost my job and all these things. Yeah, okay, I totally understand that it's hard sometimes to be grateful. That doesn't mean there's nothing to be grateful for. If you have a roof over your head, indoor plumbing, and lights, you are like 75% further along than everybody in the third world country. That's gratitude. My mom used to say when I was little, eat your food because you need to be grateful because people in this other country and they're starving to death. And I used to think, well, that's kind of not my problem. But in reality, it wasn't my problem, yet I really could be grateful that I had a meal, because there are, in our own country, people that go without food. So food insecurity is a really big thing right now, and it's really tough on people, especially with all the things that are going on right now. Find your spiritual practice. Go to groups. Do yoga. There's lots of free stuff, like at the libraries, other places like that you can go, where you can get help, and where you can find people that want to do the same thing. Go on a hike. Go take an art class. There's senior centers sometimes offer art classes. If you're really good at giving an art class and you don't know, oh gosh, I really like to paint, but I don't have anybody to paint with me, go offer to give an art class and just take love offerings for it. Then you get to spend some time doing something you really like, and you're helping other people build on their skills and brighten their day, and it's a service. Being of service is a huge thing. So what I'm saying is, you only have to change one thing, right? Don't they say that all the time? There's only one thing you have to change. It's just everything. So you just don't have to change it all at once. Okay? So it's just little by little, chip by chip, day by day, project by project. It all gets worked out. Be willing to fail. Or I prefer to say fall. Okay? Because as long as you get back up, it's not a failure, it's a learning. I learned a long time ago to take the letter I out of the word fail. It becomes a fall then, minus one L, but you know what I mean, right? It's just a fall. And as long as I get up afterwards, I haven't failed at anything at all. When I stopped smoking 22 years ago, I had to change so many things in my life. I really thought this time, okay, that was the fourth time I had tried to stop smoking cigarettes. And it was my last vice. I'd given up Pepsi. Everything else was gone. Even Pepsi had gone. And I was down to the cigarettes. And I'm like, I've got to get rid of these. And I thought, well, I'm not sure that I can do this, because I had tried it several times. One time I even made it 2 years and then went back. But what I recognized is that smoking was so ingrained in everything I did. It was when I was riding in the car. It was before dinner. It was after dinner. It was before bed. It was when I woke up. It was after sex. It was, every piece of it was there, right? So I actually had to change everything. I had to find new ways, new things to do. Hold pencils when I went places. Read books when I went to bed. Tap a pencil or something. I really got a lot of pencil work out. Straws were really good. Toothpicks, chewing on toothpicks helped a lot too. So little things that can trigger our brain to think, okay, we're still kind of doing the same thing, but yet we're not using. We are changing our life and we are making it better. And we find one little step at a time, one day at a time. And before you know it, when you're looking in that rearview mirror, or you actually turn over your head and look back behind you, you go, wow, look how far I've come, right? It seems simple, but some of this stuff is so intertwined. Just remember, you don't have to do it alone, and keep going. And if you have a bad day, you start over again tomorrow. Little by little, I learned about myself. Little by little, I changed my habits, my values. I understood what a value was. I didn't know I didn't have them before that, I learned what they were. I learned what I value, and not the person I was in a relationship with, their values. No, my own values. What was my value? What was important to me? So I hung around people that pushed me to be more. I hung around people that were aspiring themselves to be more and wanted self-knowledge and wanted to have their individual self, and they had boundaries. Wow, that was amazing. When I met somebody that had boundaries the first time, I was like, what is this? And I want a 12 to go. I really needed that. So I spent time with this woman because I knew she had boundaries, and sooner or later I'd start picking up on them. So I wanted to be an individual. I wanted to be a part of that group, and I wanted to learn from all these people. I've evolved a lot since I got sober and all those years ago, and I'm learning every day, and I'm changing who I am to be the best me possible every single day. And this is my self-knowledge, to be the best version of me. That's all I can be. So when people know better, I believe they usually do better. Better choices and better outcomes. What will it do for you? Okay. Self-knowledge is what Balster Grayson says. Self-knowledge is the beginning of self-improvement. Isn't that why you're here? Isn't that why you're in recovery? Because you know there's a better way. And learning that better way is going to take learning who you are, who we are inside. And knowing yourself is the beginning of wisdom. That's by Aristotle. Knowing ourselves is the beginning of wisdom. And isn't that what we want? The wisdom to know the difference. So knowing ourselves, we find happiness. So we'll be happier. We can express who we are. We'll have less inner conflict. So when something outside us tries to push our buttons, it just doesn't happen as much, or our buttons don't get pushed quite as hard. So we are better at making decisions because we have less decision fatigue. And yes, that is a real thing, because we're not sitting here worried constantly about how many things are going on in the world and what we have to figure out and all the things that are going on. And if our defenses aren't always up all the time trying to figure it out. Okay? Self-control. We have better self-control when we know ourselves better. And we also don't put ourselves in situations that we know are not best for ourselves. We have resistance to social pressures. Okay? It's easier when you know what your values are to not let yourself go there even in the first place. And then when you do maybe open up a door and think it might be okay, to say, oh, nope, this is not, that may have been who I was, but that's not who I am. I am not that person. So we have more tolerance and understanding of others. We can forgive better because we know we've been in their place before. And we can have the vitality and pleasure. Being who we truly are helps us feel more alive and makes our experiences richer, larger, and more exciting. We understand that brain is elastic, right? We want info on that. Look online, like I said. There's one book that I really liked. It was very easy for people to explain. It's called Your Fantastic Elastic Brain. It was a really good book with information on that. So how do we know we can change if we never try? That's my question to you. If you don't try, how will you know you can ever make those changes? We see the experience, strength, and hope of others, so we know it's possible. We see these other people growing and knowing who they are and getting this self-knowledge and using it and turning it into their own wisdom. We owe it to ourselves to grow the principle of self-knowledge. Change, growth, self-knowledge is possible. As long as we're still breathing, we can change. Okay? The end of this is, a motivational speaker, Les Brown, says, "You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." I wish you all the dreams you ever dreamt, the beautiful ones, to fill your life with love and kindness. Namaste.
Hi, my name is Linda B., and I have been offered the opportunity to share the principle in action on self-knowledge. That's kind of a big one, isn't it? Self-knowledge. Who am I? How do I know who I am? There's a practice that can really help us as we learn this principle. It's simply listening to our internals, turning inside and really paying attention. Does it feel right? Does it feel like it should happen? Does it feel worthy of who you want to be? I know for a lot of us, the whole journey of self-knowledge can be pretty scary because we might be afraid of who's in here, of who we are. And when we start to develop spiritually, there's always that fear of rejection. What if I'm not good enough? And then there's the whole wow factor of maybe I'm perfect just the way I am. For a whole lot of us, that was new information. So for practicing this principle, I really invite you to just pay attention to that small inner voice and ask yourself, would this help me be who I want to be? Is this something that would show me and the world who I'm working towards, who I want to be? Is this something I would be proud to share with my higher power? Is this something that will make me a better me? That's kind of where we start getting self-knowledge. It can be very difficult to tune out the voices that come from our past, our childhood, our parole officer, whatever, right? And really tuning into who we are. I know that as you take this journey, as you turn in and find out exactly how amazing you are, your self-knowledge will be one of the greatest spiritual tools you could ever have. Thank you so much for being with us for A Place of Faith. Stay tuned for an excellent meditation.
When I'm all alone and no one else is there, waiting by the phone to remind me I'm still here. When shadows paint the scenes where spotlights used to fall, and I'm left wondering, is it really worth it all? There's a peace inside us all. Let it be your friend. It will help you carry on. In the end, there's a peace inside us all. Well, life can hold you down when you're not looking up. Can't you hear the sounds, hearts beating out loud? Although the names change, inside we're all the same. Why can't we tear down these walls to show the scars we're covering? There's a peace inside us all. Let it be your friend. It will help you carry on. There's a peace, oh, there's a peace inside us all. Let it be, oh, I said let it be, let it be your friend. There's a peace inside us all. Let it be your friend. It will help you carry on in the end. There's a peace inside us all. There's a peace, oh, there's a peace inside us all. Let it be, oh, let it be, let it be your friend. There's a peace inside us all.
Welcome. I'm Beci Y, and I would like to invite you now to find a tranquil place where you can be comfortable, feel safe, be undisturbed. Close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply in and out, cleansing breaths, taking you deeper and deeper into relaxation, clearing your mind of all stressful thoughts and anxieties. As you go deeper and deeper into relaxation, remember that the Creator designed us all to be perfect. You are perfect. I am perfect. We are all perfect in the Creator's eyes. We have also all been endowed with gifts that make us each unique. These gifts make you, you, and me, me. Consider your gifts. Think of your strengths and talents. These are the things that do make you special, and they bring you joy. They bring you peace. They bring you comfort. Rejoice in these wonderful gifts. Do not discount them, and do not compare them to the gifts of others. Because remember, these gifts were given to you. They are your special strengths. Marvel in them. Relish them. See how wondrous they are. Think of your own special strengths and how they have helped others around you. Now, envision a time when you used your gifts to bring joy and comfort to a child, a friend, even a stranger. Imagine the many ways that you can use your special gifts to improve the world and bring joy. As you return to the present and prepare to resume your day, continue to marvel at your wonderful gifts and be confident of the great strengths that make you, you. Thank you and have a blessed day.
A lot of us grew up believing at any moment we could lose it all. And at the drop of a hat, God might turn his back and move on. A lot of us feel like we blew it, thinking that we're just too far gone. But I want you to know that there's still a hope for you now. And no matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. Nothing can change it. You're not separated, no matter what. There's never been a better time to get honest. There's never been a better time to get clean. So come as you are, run to the light and be free. Oh, be free. 'Cause no matter what you've done, you can't erase his love. And nothing can change it. You're not separated. No matter where you run, he's always holding on. You're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what. You're still a daughter, you're still a son, no matter what.
Thank you, Jody. And as we bring this session to a close, thank you to everyone who participated and to you for attending. Thank you, thank you. And now, with the closing prayer, the prayer of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is dying that we are born to eternal life. Thank you, and have a wonderful week.
Being in recovery means being of service. Locally, the Salvation Army is looking for food donations. The San Diego Blood Bank is looking for donations, and the McAllister Thrift Store is also looking for donations of any kind. You don't know what you want to do or volunteer? Look at volunteermatch.com.
Join us in spreading our message of recovery. Send your donations to Unity Church of El Cajon, 311 Highland Avenue, El Cajon, California, 92020. Be sure to put in the memo, it's for a place of faith. You can donate online as well at unityofelcajon.org. There's a donate button. It's safe and secure.
We want to work with your organization. We have speakers with decades of experience. We do workshops, speaking engagements, spiritual mentoring, lessons, and more. Give us an email at aplaceoffaith@sohomail.com.
Stay connected and updated. We're on Facebook and YouTube. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
A Place of Faith is sponsored by Unity Church of El Cajon.